Previously on Backyard Survivor.
We are down to 8. It is time to find out where everyone stands amongst this group. So, are you all ready to get to your next immunity challenge? It's happening right now.
For the next challenge, the final 8 have been tasked with answering questions about their fellow tribe mates.
Okay, so touchy subjects.
Who is playing the most strategic game? Maybe Matt C. And good on him for doing so.
Who's most likely to stab you in the back?
Matt C. Sorry, Matt.
That's Josh. I hope people wouldn't, but I feel like Josh.
Sal. Oh, are they gonna say me? I think that's a me.
Who is riding coattails?
So it has to be Jo. She's done the least in the game. I like her, but...
What are coattails?
Sorry, doll.
Maybe Josh?
Who should have been voted out by now?
Michael.
I'm just gonna go Val because she already has been voted out.
Who is the biggest flirt? Oh my goodness, what sort of questions are those?
That is Josh. That's the easiest one. I'll probably have to go with Josh.
I'm gonna go Josh.
Josh?
Me. Oh, that's Matt who just got voted out. Sorry. Who should have been voted out by now? Me. My name's come up so many times.
Yeah, I was pretty close with Matt B, like at the original, like the breakfast, and then just swapped yellow. I was definitely tight. It was me and Rachel with Matt B and Abby. But once the merge happened, I just was not feeling the safety there anymore. I just had to. I'm just so happy, and now it's 4-4. Like Red is back in the game with the biggest underdogs. Like, oh, I just can't believe it. I'm so happy. Hopefully we can flip some of the girls and vote out Sal next. He's just wasted his idol. I doubt there'll be another one he'll find, so that would probably be my next move I'd want to make. I think the people left in the game at the moment with the strongest cases for the jury would definitely be Michael with his family, and he's won a few challenges. Matt C's won a few challenges, and then Kiara, being the returning player, she has like beaten all the odds. I feel very safe going forward. I think the fact that it's 4-4 and it's getting pretty close to the end, I feel like now all the biggest threats will be the physical players. So I feel like Rachel and myself can just sort of skate through. I do want to try and stay Red strong because they've been so loyal to me. But in the end, I do want to win, so I'll have to see what happens.
Who would you most want to invite to your family dinner? Michael. He's so nice.
Who has the most alliances?
I was going to say me before Matt B got voted out.
I kind of think I have the most alliances. Am I allowed to write myself?
I reckon Michael is making some moves.
So we just had tribal. It just felt really good to get rid of Abby, to be honest. She's a massive player. Both times that I've tried to pull a move in tribal and it hasn't worked, I was able to get the person out the next go. I still feel really, really strong with the people that I've been working with, but I still think that the people on the yellow tribe, I'm hoping that they still want to work with me as well, so that my name stays off the chopping block. I'm feeling really good with the jury because I didn't vote for Jake, I didn't vote for Fu, I did vote out Abby, but I think she recognises a good game player, and I didn't vote Matt B out as well. So a lot of my alliance did. There's no real blood on my hands there, but just the kind of looks that I'm kind of getting from the jury, I have got to. I feel like they're probably kind of going for me a little bit as well. So I feel like in a really good spot, kind of heading late in the game, that I could definitely get a fair few votes.
Who is most likely to cry in their confessionals? Oh. Well, I have a heart of steel, so not me. So that tribal council was explosive. I reckon Kiara or Valentine, I don't know, they're all pretty emotional. I'm so sad to lose my secret alliance with Matt B in this game because he was giving me intel, I was giving him intel, and we were working together. So I feel like I've lost a little edge with him gone. Who is next on the chopping block? I think Sal's next. He gotta go. Now that his idol's gone, he's gone. Now we're down to 4 red and 4 yellow, and if anything to go by the past individual challenges, red has won every single one. So if we can keep that up, then the yellows are going to be picked off. So I know everyone thinks it's a boring strategy to pick off another tribe, but hey, if it gets me to the end, it gets me to the end.
Okay, so let's see if I can find them.
Jojo, get out of my shot!
Oh,
it's my time to shine. So tribal council, that was very interesting. That was the first time I've sort of had to vote for someone I had an alliance with, so it really hurt, that one. Who has no idea what's going on? Joe. Getting really emotionally exhausted, but I guess that's just the game. Yellow Strong is no longer. We now have a split right down the middle, so it's going to get really interesting from here. Who would you want to invite to your family dinner? Kiara!
I'm going to write down Jo because she's so sweet. That elimination was a bit tough. Abby and I have been working together since the start. Love it a bit, but I just felt like it was time to make the cut. Her energy around camp is like a little chaotic, and it's really hard to know where you'll see her next, who she's going to be chatting to next, whose name she's going to throw out next, and having her out of the game is actually going to be better for my game. It's going to free me up. I'm going to be able to move around more freely.
I know.
And I'm just like off the cuff.
Yep, that's the way to do it.
I definitely feel really, really good about both Jo and Sal. Sal, I find a little harder to read, but I still feel like Sal shares more information with me, so I think that we're good as well. Who spends the most time looking for idols?
Well, I mean, Sal went on a witch hunt for his.
I've seen just Sal running around like a goose, like you said.
After that tribal, I'm going to write down Sal.
I guess Sal.
Sal.
Looking for idols? Cha-ching. If I don't get that, I'll be disappointed.
That was a spicy tribal. Who would you most want to invite to your family dinner? Zach, I'd love to have you over at dinner.
Abby's gone, unfortunately. We had a good thing going, but that's the way it is. I definitely wasn't going to play my second idol on her. Plus, it didn't even come to mind, really. I just thought they would have gone for Val. So, hopefully the girls still want to work with me. Who's the most likely to stay on the bed? Your dad voted for me. I was almost going to play that freaking idol on him. Bozo. I was like, if I played the idol for him, I would have been gone.
So you're not coming to my family dinner?
Yeah. Just quickly trying to do the maths back in my head. If I had have played that idol for Matt, he didn't vote for Josh with me, he put a vote on me. So then on the revote, I would have been cooked. So I'm very glad that I didn't do the selfless thing and try and save him to save us both, because that would have been very silly.
Who has told the most lies in the game? Ooh, doggy, that could be me. I think people are clawing on.
I'm going to write down Sal.
Rachel?
It's Josh or Rachel. That's like the truth of it.
Oh, no, she hasn't. I take it back. Sorry, Rachel.
Josh?
We'll go Josh. We'll say Josh.
I can't believe I'm still here. My God. I was nearly voted out like first and then second, like so early on. Oh my God. Holly was throwing out both mine and Ken's name, and then in our second tribal, it was between me and Ken. It was so obvious. Had to be a bit mean to Ken in order to make myself stay. Oh, there's Ken. Hi.
Who's not cut out like a survivor? Josh. I mean, Josh has kind of flopped in all the challenges. I'm gonna go Josh.
I'm just rooting for myself, to be honest. I should have been out so early. I messed my leg up on the first challenge. I've been limping ever since, and somehow just my social game is just keeping me all my good allies. I'm just loving it. And the cat, I've got about 2 lives left, so let's see if that holds. Oh, should I not be here? God, what am I gonna do? Oh, I don't know. Right, when do we go back? This is scary.
Here we are at your next individual immunity challenge. First thing, Michael and Matt, head over here. We'll take the nexus off of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Individual immunity back up for grabs.
Not this one. Okay, so at the end of Tribal Council, we got you all to answer some questions about your fellow tribe mates. What we're going to do here for the challenge is, when we ask you the question, you need to reveal what you think the majority answered to that question.
So it is not necessarily what you said, it is what you think the majority of the other people said.
So if you are correct in guessing what the majority is, then you will get a turn to take this pin and pop one of your competitors' balloons.
You have 3 lives in this game. When all of your balloons are popped, you are out of the game, no shot at immunity. Let's start with a nice one. Who would you most want to invite to your family dinner? And reveal. We have Kiara, Joe, Kiara, Michael,
Salvador, and Michael.
Correct answer was Kiara.
Joe got it right, Valentina got it right, Sal got it right.
I think that was it.
That was it. Joe, we'll start this side, we'll work up there. Next time we come back the other way.
You can pop whoever you want. Who's going to be the first person to take a hit?
I know exactly where she was going with that one. All right, who is next? Valentina. Valentina, so you can pop one of your tribe mates' balloons. Who's it going to be?
And takes 2 hits.
Takes another.
And who else?
Salvador. Who's it going to be?
No offense, but you've got.
Just like that. Matt, out of this challenge.
So, Matt C, you can take a seat where you are. Sorry, no shot at immunity. All right. Who is the biggest flirt?
Some people have their answers really quickly.
No, don't show us yet.
Are we ready?
Okay. Reveal.
Reveal.
We have Josh, Michael.
Josh. Josh votes for himself.
The correct answer is Josh, so everyone gets the correct other than Valentina. Josh, we start down this side this time. Hey.
He's flirting.
So, take your pick. Who's it gonna be? Yeah, Salvador takes the hit. Michael's next.
So bad.
Take another hit, and Rachel is up.
Oh,
wow. Sal, you got it right, so you still get to pop someone's balloon.
Oh, you wouldn't count.
All right.
Michael takes a hit.
Okay. Kiara, you can take a hit. Salvador, you can take a seat in your spot.
But you're very
Mike will take another hit, and Joe will take the last hit for this one.
Sorry, we've got that group thing going on.
Next up, who is the easiest to beat at Final Tribal Council?
And reveal.
Okay, we have Joe votes for herself. Kiara votes Michael, Josh, and Joe. Correct answer is Joe. So Joe correctly answers for herself. Joe gets first hit.
Okay.
Takes a hit.
Who else?
I think Josh got it.
And Josh. Yeah, Josh gets to it. Valentina takes a hit. Yes, we'll take that back. Thank you.
Who has surprised you the most?
Okay, reveal.
We have Kiara, Valentina. Josh surprised himself the most.
The correct answer was
Valentina.
So Rachel and Kiara will get to take a turn. Starts down this end.
No, it was good one.
Who has no idea what's going on?
Okay,
Reveal.
Joe, Valentina, Josh, Joe, and Valentina. I forget the question.
Who has no idea what's going on?
Not intentional.
The correct answer was, let me make sure I get it right, Valentina. So Kiara gets it right, Josh gets it right.
Starting this side. Came that way last time.
Oh, take the easy way out.
Josh takes his first hit. And then Josh is
This was a choice.
maybe not the best.
Actually, no.
Okay. Valentina, you're out of this challenge. No shot. Who is playing the best strategic game?
All right, you ready? Reveal.
We've got Matt. Rachel votes for herself. Josh votes for herself. Josh votes for Rachel. Correct answer is Matt. So Joe and Kiara get it right.
Kiara will go first. We're coming this way down. Rachel out of the challenge. Sit there. Go. Nice hit it, Josh. Josh hanging on by a thread with one balloon. Joe and Kiara still on 3 each.
have to turn on each other soon.
This one has 2 answers. We will accept both as correct. So you don't need to obviously guess both, either or. Who has told the most lies in the game? We ready? Reveal.
We have Matt C, Rachel, and Salvador. The correct answers were
Josh and Salvador. So Josh, you get it right.
I'd like to know some of these lies and I can't Who's next?
No, just you.
you. Joe takes their first hit. So, who is the dark horse of the game? And when you're ready, reveal. We have Kiara, Valentina, and Kiara. The correct answers are Rachel and Kiara. So, went that way, so it's Josh. First here.
It's okay. I'm going to do it right back.
Oh, that's fine.
Chasing back down.
I'm just going to do it right back.
All right, so Josh takes his last hit out of the challenge. We're down to 2.
Who's not cut out for Backyard Survivor?
If Kiara gets this right, she'll win this challenge. So, reveal. Both say Joanna.
Including Joanna.
I'm really rooting for myself. So sweet.
The correct answer was Josh.
Yeah.
Who is the biggest threat to win this game? Okay, are we ready? Reveal. Joe says Kiara. Kiara says Matt C. Correct answer is Matt C. Which means Kiara, you get to pop Joe's balloon and you win the challenge with all 3 balloons intact.
Oh my god! Being given a second chance and to feel like I'm ticking so many boxes. I survived the first vote. I made the swap. I made the merge. And now I actually won an individual immunity.
Kiara, congratulations. You've won individual immunity, cannot be voted out at the next tribal council. How does it feel?
It feels really awesome.
Great. As for the rest of you, one of you is going home. We're going to send you back to camp. We'll see you at tribal.
Head on out.
Done.
I just can't believe this is happening.
I'm proud of you.
I think if we don't, it's obvious. Like both of them, they're just going to win.
One of the questions that I think I agree with the answer. It was that who was the biggest threat, and everybody, the majority, went for Matt. So we know that it's him. So we gotta get him out. But if he keeps winning immunity challenges, it's too.
He's just got it locked in the bag.
I don't know if I'm going to have the numbers to pull that out, or we're going to rocks. It's going to be a tie something. We'll see.
Well, it's likely it's going to go to rocks. Obviously.
I think so,
yeah.
but we have the better chance because you've got that. So we only have a 3 and 4. They have a 4 and 4. So if we just say that to them, go look. If you guys want to go to rocks, we're happy to go to rocks. Like I am. I don't know. I feel like Otherwise, they're just going to pick us off.
Yeah.
Matt and Michael deserve to win this game. It's like they've won all the challenges. They're really good strategically. They were in the only 4 people left at the start. They had 2 out of the first 3 tribals and they were gone. And now all those 4 are still here. So they've definitely got a really good story.
Just the thing, I think that the vote would be either on me or you. Yeah, probably.
I think it'll be me. They targeted me last time. They wanted to get, I had to play that idol to keep me in the game. I feel like they're gunning for me, so it could be a good thing tonight. If we go to rocks, that means I'm immune as well, if they are gunning for me. I think... No, I don't think so.
No.
I think that was it.
Yeah.
I just played it, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that I played the idol that I was searching for, so hopefully no one thinks that I have another, and I'm not going to mention it.
How much have you talked to those guys?
I think that's why they're pissed off, because I was, giving the alternate answer to them, going, oh yeah, I'll work with you, we'll vote out this person, so that's why they're pissed at me. I've been with Kiara and Joe the whole time, but I feel like those girls are closer, and then I'm on the outer rims.
It's pretty clear. So going into tribal, it's 4-4. We want to stay 4 strong. We're happy to go to rocks if we have to.
I'll go to rocks.
Yeah, I honestly will. I'm not joking. I didn't want to for Jake, obviously. For us, I will. I'm not bothered.
Because if we don't, we're just going to get picked off.
At this point, I'm not a threat. Clearly from that challenge, they think that I'm the least cut out to be here, and I've told the most lies, which I really don't think I have. So it sounds like they think they could beat me at the end. So if they want to do that, they can try, and let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
Kiara mentioned, well, I said to her, I'd love to work with you later on.
Yeah.
Because she said to me, do you want us to vote out Abby? That she did. So I'm like, oh, you stayed true to that. I do want to work with you, blah, blah, blah. I say to her, we want to vote out Sal, who's the biggest physical threat, blah, blah, blah. And then she'll obviously go, oh, well, then Red will have the majority. And we obviously not, but we fake and say they're the next 2 biggest threats. After Sal's gone, we'll vote them out, flip to them, because we're all weak ones. But actually, we will not obviously flip on them.
Don't underestimate Kiara.
Yeah,
she'll see through bullshit if it's too obvious.
Yeah.
She's also really good player too.
Really? Okay. I think the easiest one to bring across would be Kiara. I haven't really worked with her, and the others said that she's actually a really good player and not to underestimate her, so that might not be the case.
Yeah.
But Joe and Kiara won't vote for each other.
Yeah.
That's
like 100%.
But then what do we do? We need someone to flip.
Can I tell you my soap couple idea?
Oh, yeah. So back in the days when it was us 4 Reds, when we were down and out, we were looking for idols, couldn't find one, and I said, let's make a fake idol. And we found this old bar of soap, and I said, well, that looks like an idol package. So they all thought it was a bit silly, but I wrapped it up, and I've had it ever since we left. So since the tribe swap, I've had it in my pocket just as a backup.
They don't know who's going to be played on.
It's better to make a big move, take a chance, otherwise just go home.
We just scare the other tribe into being like, it's Sal and we're going to rock, so...
Yeah, and I think now is the perfect time to use it when, one of us 4 having an idol really could bluff one of them into flipping their vote so that we can take the majority and get the 4 Reds to the end. So it's, it might not work, it is a bit silly, but it's, one of our last chances in order to avoid going to rocks.
Matt's definitely going to win this if he doesn't get out now. That's what we say to them, If you don't vote him and he gets through this, he's just going to win every challenge and...
Matt is just going to consistently win the challenges and most likely win this thing if he doesn't get voted out.
All right, let's give it a go.
Going in, I have no confidence whatsoever. I really, really don't think anyone's going to falter a stab in the dark at this point, even trying to talk to any of them, but we'll give it a go. You never know. Obviously we know that there's a split alliance right down the middle, but we were just wondering if you guys were at all thinking of going either Matt or Mike because of the threats, and just because I reckon if Matt keeps winning these, he's just going to win.
We're still 4 yellow, 4 red strong. Reds are putting their votes on Sal because he is such a physical threat. He's always up there with the boys and winning the challenges.
I think Matt feels like he is really vulnerable because of all the answers that came out.
Yeah, I know.
So I feel like he might see it coming.
Yeah.
So you think he has an idol to play?
I proposed to the group that we use our little fake soapy idol just to psych out the other tribe, because if they split, then we've got the numbers. Sal's idol is back in play. There's an idol definitely back in play, so this could be a good chance to pretend like the old Red Alliance has found a hidden immunity idol. Could it be? It's not a real idol, but if we can trick the other team into thinking it is, I think we might have the numbers on this vote.
Oh, they're staying. Okay. So basically, tribal is going to go down tonight. It's going to be crazy. I think we're going to try and get Kiara to flip to go for Sal because he's a physical threat.
I still want to work with definitely you and Joe. I feel like we're close with. So there's your own chance that you come with us, and then on the next one we can switch it up.
Who would you want to see on?
Either one of the other two. I don't know. Is there anyone that you? So we're going rocks?
I'm willing to go rocks for the other red because this is a real crossroads.
Is there anyone from your tribe that you actually want to go?
Not at this point.
The challenge that we just did, a bit of an eye-opener as well for myself, thinking down the track now, maybe I might not be able to take Matt with me to final if he's perceived as like that, the one running the show, which I don't think he is, but if that's what people perceive, perception's reality. So it doesn't really matter who's in charge, it's who everyone else thinks is in charge. And if everyone else thinks someone else is in charge, then it doesn't matter who's actually in charge. But yeah, this one, going to be 4 strong.
And no matter what happens at tribal,
yeah,
we'll be alright when we get back.
Yeah.
We don't...
Yeah.
No hard feelings.
Yeah, absolutely. It is what it is, so...
It's a practical arrangement.
Yeah.
I feel like this next vote is going to be another crazy one. I feel like it's going to expose a lot of the ways people are thinking and who they're prepared to align with or back as we move forward. So I actually think it's going to be really good because it's going to show up. I'm open-minded.
Okay.
It's not that I'm closed-minded or I would never work with you
Yeah.
guys to come up with the majority. I'm really open-minded.
Yeah.
It would be disrespectful to say let's just go jump on.
Yeah, I know because they're your people, I guess.
So. Yeah, and it's disrespectful to you if I'm just like.
Yeah.
My tribe has said that they're willing to go to rocks if it's a split vote.
Yeah. I'll go to rocks. Why not? But
I'll go to rocks.
Yeah.
I've got the next.
Yeah, I know.
It's going to be action-packed, and I'm safe, so I can just watch on and froth.
I'll be frothing the rocks with you.
Froth the rocks.
Froth the rocks.
Easy.
Good luck.
Yeah.
No, this is all on. I must say that in the last challenge when they, the answers, the question got answered, and my name went out for the one that doesn't have any idea what's going on. Well, I did have a little bit of an idea. I mean, not total idiot.
People forget how good Valentine is at challenges.
I haven't won one.
Oh, but you definitely were the dark boy.
Because every time, at every turn, things changes. So we'll see. Maybe they're right. Maybe they're not.
Yeah.
Okay, so touchy subjects. I was targeted hardcore. So what I've got to do is just basically lean into me being a shield, but people are just scared that I'm just going to win out immunity, which is honestly very unlikely.
It's bloody tough. It's
hype now.
Yeah, it's really there's not much wiggle room really.
Yeah. Michael has also won 2 individual immunities, and Sal's been right there every time.
I mean, we could see it's us 3 that are gone when we get a chance. You were gone, I was gone, Michael was gone.
I need to take out. I need Sal out. that if I can try and forge enough trust with some people for me to just make some headway.
Honestly, like if we're just like sitting ducks one by one,
yeah,
do we need to stay apart?
The rest of Red, before Red, talking about being willing to go to rocks. That's like last resort for me.
Would you two be keen for voting for a red first and then for us to go for a yellow to even it back up? Either Josh or Rachel, I have like no connection with them, and then you guys choose.
At some point, I need to start taking out Red.
Are you able to speak to Michael by himself?
Yeah. Would you be okay with one of them first or not? Michael and Matt aren't safe. It's funny, like I've been trying to work with them this whole time, but just the pieces haven't lined up.
So what I'll pitch to you is they're going to rocks no matter what, and I said I'm going to go to rocks as well.
I need us to get the numbers up. They're just too strong in the challenges. Honestly, like can't do anything and I can just see them getting through. But I have the worry of being picked off as well.
I want to work with you.
If we don't stay strong, the three boys, it could just be 1, 2, 3. I don't want to play that idle tonight. I'm going to risk it and then use it the next one. So, see how that goes.
We need each other, you know?
Yeah. Tonight it's going to go down one way or another. It's going to get crazy, so buckle up.
Genuinely tossing up about who on Red. Really?
Josh, when we were bored looking for the Red immunity idol, I found like this used bar of soap. So that's wrapped up and stringed up, and Josh is talking about actually trying to scare people with it now.
Do you have any red string? Do you? Yeah.
What I've been saying all along, the power of a hidden immunity idol is the perception of the idol.
Help me. We've just got to try and cause chaos and hope one of them flicks a vote somewhere so that our 4 strong ends up being the majority. Like, if I'm going to go out of the game, I'd rather just go down in a blaze of glory. Like, if I go home by rocks, it's going to suck, but I'd rather go home by rocks trying to make a big move than go home just dead in the water being a flop. So that's it, I've got to do it.
Bringing in your jury, Jake, Boo. Voted out at the last tribal council, Abby and Matt.
We're down to the final 8. So, you just completed Touchy Subjects challenge, where the tribe dynamics usually get brought to the forefront. Joe, was there anything that came up in this challenge that was surprising for you?
No, not really. I found that I really struggled to answer the questions. I had a lot of nobodies to begin with, and then I was told to change my answers. So, I don't know, nothing overly surprising. I think some of them we just had to kind of clutch at straws and just say a name.
So someone said that you were eager to be at final tribal council, correct?
Yeah, that's probably
Okay. So you're not denying that?
I didn't want to make it there, and I would love to win, but yeah.
So, Valentina, your name came up during the challenge. Were you surprised by any of the questions that were answered with your name?
Yeah, I mean, one was funny. It was the one like, who has no idea what's going on? Valentina, is that right? Is that not? No, but it was fun. It's like, oh wow, okay. That was funny surprise.
Kiara, wearing the individual immunity necklace, and you still had your 3 balloons. Were you surprised that no one came targeting you in that challenge?
I was a little surprised, yeah. I was.
Seems like you've got a few family dinners to
I'm forward to the invitation.
And Josh, you were voted not cut out for Backyard Survivor.
Yes. The one I was a bit surprised about, the biggest liar or whatever, because fair enough people on the jury, but
everybody sitting here, I don't think I've said a lie to any of them. Unless they want to say what I have said that's not true now.
Anybody want to face up?
No, we're all liars.
Okay, so what you say is the people you lied to are already gone. These are the people that you are honest to.
Yeah, I mean, the honest to them, I don't really speak to them.
So last time, Matt and Michael, you both had individual immunity. So Matt, how are you feeling now at this tribal?
Oh, you're definitely vulnerable. The challenge very clearly targeted.
So why do you think you were targeted so quick, and why you got voted?
So I guess just the last 2 challenges I've won, and people don't want me to win challenges anymore. When I've won 2 and 2, that is 2 Michael, 2 me. Sal's been basically runner-up in a few of those. So you eliminate me. There's 2 others who are just going to be up straight after me. And then let's not forget Valentina, who won 4 challenges in a row. So I don't know, the chances of me.
All right, I mean, at the final 8, so you're already being targeted as a challenge threat, and so you're pitching to other people who have demonstrated their skills and challenges, that if you go, then they become the targets.
Instead of just being seeing ducks one by one, maybe we should try to start working together.
The thing with Survivor is perception's reality. So with some of those questions that come out, things happening, whether is actually the case or not, it doesn't really matter. It's just what people think, and that's their reality. So it doesn't really matter who's in charge or who thinks they're in charge. It's I guess what the majority and what the jury has an opinion on, because ultimately that's what's going to decide it.
So the last tribal council, when we had the 2 vote-offs, is there something you'd like to say?
No, just sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's okay. I'm interested, like what you had to talk to Sal about.
I'm just trying to sell Sal my last point.
Okay.
Work together for
Matt, I sense that you're pitching to everyone to keep you. Is that right?
Of course.
Yeah. So you think that you're about to go?
I think it's either me or Sal.
Yeah, I'm also feeling him over here, but currently we have 4 yellow and 4 red, and it seems like we're possibly a bit of an impasse.
Wow.
Yeah, there has been talk of a deadlock vote, and I know that the Reds, if we have to, we're willing to go to rock. And so are they apparently.
That's the elephant in the room.
One second. Yeah, so Kiara might have immunity, but the Red is an actress.
Okay. All right. God, a lot just happened in 2 minutes. So there's talk of a deadlock vote, but Josh has something in his pocket.
We made our pictures, so.
Okay. All right.
Could I quickly say something?
Of course.
Yellow tried to try quickly whisper to you back here for 30 seconds.
It's allowed.
Can't leave tribal council, so you've got to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
That happens in Survivor all the time. That is our backup Survivor first. Let's see how this turns out. Kiara, you're up first.
Necklace, unless you want to give it to someone else.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sal, Reds are voting for you because you're the biggest physical threat from Yellows.
and you've betrayed us.
Hopefully, both me and Zhao can keep pushing this towards rocks and that we're both safe this round. I see this as the only way that I can survive.
I tried working with you heaps of times and you didn't want to jump on board.
What are the votes?
Okay, if anybody has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now would be the time to do so.
Well, so this is something that before original res we found to get one. So I want to stay true to the res and present this, and I'll play it for Max C.
For who? Max C?
Yeah.
This is not. All votes for Max C.
Will count.
All votes for Matt C will count.
I would put that down, Brian. You don't want to know. I would wash your hands.
Okay. Okay. If anybody else would like to play an idol or play something, now would be the time to do so.
We'll now get to the vote. So,
First vote. Sal.
second vote. Maddie.
Matt.
Matt. 3 votes for Matt, 1 vote Sal.
Matt. 4 votes, Matt. 1 vote, Sal.
Sal.
Sal. 3 votes, Sal. 4 votes, Matt. 1 vote, out.
Salvador.
We're tied.
So, in the matter of a tie, Salvador, Matt, you will not vote. Your votes cancel each other out. Everybody else, you will cast a vote for either of those two. Yara, you will vote first. Please take the urn. Let's go now.
Rocky Tribal Council.
Wash my pants.
Yeah, do you want some soap?
The game. I'm voting for Salvador! We'll see what happens.
I'd rather go home making a big move than go home like a dead fish.
Okay, let's go. We'll read the votes. First vote. Matt.
Salvador.
Salvador.
Sal. We have 1 vote Matt. 3 votes Sal, 2 votes left.
Matt.
3 votes Sal, 2 votes Matt, 1 vote left.
Matt.
We are deadlocked.
So, here's how this works. The group has to unanimously come to a decision, then for Matt or Sal. If you cannot come to a unanimous decision, Matt and Sal become immune, Kiara is still immune, and the rest of you will draw for rocks. Have a chat, have a go.
Let us know.
I'm happy to go to rocks, unless you two want to decide Sal.
I'm happy for rocks.
Needs to be unanimous.
Alright. This is something different. Yeah.
To be clear, Michael, Joe, Valentina, Josh, and Rachel will draw for rocks. In this bag, we have 4 white rocks, 1 blue rock. Okay, here we go.
No peeking?
No peeking.
Yeah.
You do not want blue.
Peeking.
Josh, last one.
So we're going to hold them out
In front of you.
in front of you.
I want you to turn them over so your palm is going to be out. Ready? Reveal. Michael.
Wow. Michael. So brutal. Put your life on the line. Take it to your tribe.
Yes. The tribe may not have spoken, but you're out of this game. That was a huge gamble. For some of you it worked, others have worked. Head on back to camp, see you at the next challenge.
Just got rocked out, which it sucks. But you know, I knew what I was getting myself into when I went into rocks. It was the right move. I still think it's the right move that I needed at that point in the game. It was a gamble. But unfortunately, it just didn't pay off. So, but still gutted. So, really hoping just one of the red can pull through and get a win now. I think all 3 of them have got really good social games. So I think that one of them should be able to kind of slip through the cracks. Red all the way now, hopefully.
How's it feel to join the club?
Yeah, it sucks.
It does. Do you still have the rock on you? Because there is a bin right there.
No, I actually gave it back to Brian. I didn't want any part of that. I didn't want it as a souvenir to remind me or anything like that. So, did you keep yours?
I still have mine. It wants me.
I might have to ask her that.
Don't.
I knew actually.
It's a
I can't really regret the decision, unfortunately, but it doesn't make it hurt any less, as you know.
Absolutely.
It's such a weird feeling not getting any votes at tribal council, protecting your tribe mates, and then having to go home. I had all 5 to choose from, and I picked the blue, so I can't if I was the last one to pick and it was the blue one, then that's as it is. So I can't really blame anyone else. I can't regret it. It was the right move. There's probably more regrets I had in the game earlier on that kind of led to this point. Yeah.
Bold choice. Bold choice.
Next time on Backyard Survivor.
I could try and go on Idle Watch.
It's Josh and I that are next. I might try and work in with Kiara. I feel like I'm getting the sense that she might want to work with me.
I'm actually finding it a little tricky to figure out who I would take to the end.
It's now trying to work out when the girls are going to blindside me.